All right, now that we've got the first demo loaded up, let's see what we've got here. Well, first what we've got is a README file that actually contains the text version of everything I've said so far this level. So if you need a refresher, well, you know where to find one. To find the real meat of the demo though, let's open up the to-do pane down at the bottom. Find a nice entry that says, to do, start here to learn more about Application Listener and Shape Renderer. Sounds good. Let's close the rest of these panes so that we have some room to work with. If you open up this file on your own machine, you may notice that there's a whole bunch more comments on here, and again, that's more or less the text version of what I'm about to tell you. So the entry point into your code that you write for a game is a class that implements Application Listener. Application Listener has 6 required methods that we'll walk through. We've also inserted logging messages that fire when each of those methods is called. So in this demo, first thing, we're setting up a tag so that we can identify our log messages. And then we declare a private shape renderer. Create is the first one of the required methods on an application listener, and that's basically where you do anything you do in a normal constructor. This will get called when the host application is ready for your application listener to come alive. And of course, this is where we initialize our shape renderer. Immediately after our application listener is created, resize will be called to let us know how big the screen is. We won't be doing anything with resize just for now, but next level we'll be using it to make sure our camera doesn't go out of whack. Next we have the dispose method. Now you might be thinking, this is Java, don't we get automatic memory management? I thought garbage collection was a thing. Well, while it's true that Java can usually be relied upon to clean up your memory for you, a garbage collection event takes a long time. And when you have a game that's trying to render itself 60 times a second, a garbage collection event can easily make you drop a whole ton of frames. That makes it look like the game is just frozen, and users don't like that. So there's a number of places where we have to manage our own memory. In this case, when our application listener receives a call to dispose, we should dispose of any resources that we're using. All right, the render method. This is the real heart of the operation. This gets called every time our game should draw itself. So you know how I said we didn't have to talk to OpenGL directly? Well, that's mostly true. These 2 lines clear the previous screen. These lines get repeated pretty much verbatim at the start of every render method throughout this course. The first line tells OpenGL, hey, what's the background color? In this case, it's black, that's opaque. And the second line actually tells OpenGL to go ahead and clear the screen. All right, then we tell Shape Renderer to start a new batch, and we pass in the shape type we want to draw. In this case, we want to draw points. Then we draw a point at location 100, 100. So that's going to be 100 pixels up from the bottom of the screen, 100 pixels to the right of the left of the screen. And then we got to remember to end our shape renderer batch. Pause is the second to last of the required application listener methods, and it gets called right before our application is disposed of. It can also be called when our app goes off screen and is no longer active. This will usually happen in Android when you hit the home button. Pause is where we want to save anything we want to persist about the game, like how many lives the player has left. Resume gets called if the game comes back to life after being paused. Again, this is pretty much an Android-specific thing, and we'll talk much more about this later. All right, so we expect this code to draw a single point to the screen. Let's give it a try. All right, it's not much, but there we go. We've got a single point illuminated. It's kind of pretty, kind of like a star in the night sky.